Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's our weekly product call. Today, I think I don't have to introduce our main speaker, as all of us are here because of this person, right? He will be sharing with us the essential top six health products. I think he has more experience than any one of us. So without any further ado, let's give a big welcome to our Sifu, Richard M. Over to you, Richard.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. So, good evening to every one of you guys. Today, I'm just going to go through the top six health products that we have in the company, and most of you guys are kind of familiar with the products too, right? So, I'm just going to go through with them. So, first and foremost, disclaimer: products and ingredients discussed here are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any form of diseases. Okay. Now, this is an old Chinese saying, 生老病死. I mean, when you're born, you go old, and then you're sick and you're deaf, right? The question is this: why must we be sick? Why not we just be 生老自然死? That means born, old, natural death. Why not, right? I mean, you look at Queen Elizabeth. Isn't that amazing? She's 90 plus, and then she just spoke to the new prime minister a day before, and the next day she just died in a sleep. Right? That's the best way of going away from this world. Don't we want that? Right? So can we accomplish that? I'm sure we can. I'm sure we can. Right. So I just want to go through some of the concept first. When we take some form, okay, first and foremost, why do we take supplements? Right? Why must we take supplements? Or rather, why should we take supplements? The answer is this. In the past 100 over years, supplements are all you got it from the nature. You eat the vegetables, you have the vitamins that you need, right? The ingredients that you need. But today, when we eat the same kind of vegetables, why can't we have the same vitamins, right? The answer is very simple. In 1930, I believe it was 36, there was an act that says, okay, if you tilt the land, that means you farm the land, you don't have to put back every ingredient that you just withdraw from the land, right? Because the plant sucks up all the nutrients, but you just need to put back four of the nutrients. So isn't that amazing? So are we getting the same nutrients that we have 100 years ago? No, definitely not, right? And then now with the GMO, all the modified food and fruits and vegetables, all these things, that's even worse, right? We're not getting what we need. I mean, it's our business world, right? The business world wants you to get through the products even faster. Okay, so supplementation is needed is because the natural way form of supplementation is already missing the ingredient, the nutrients that we need from those sources, the food sources. Okay, so naturally we all have to take some form of supplement. So the word supplement means to supply what is missing, right? So in the world, what kind of supplement is there in the world? Most of the supplements comes in the form of pill, capsule, or liquids, right? A pill, tablet, capsule, or liquid is one of these three. So let's talk about pill, capsule, liquid. First and foremost, you got to bring your pill together with you during your food process, right? During a lunch, during a breakfast, during a dinner, and then some of us forgot to bring, right? We forget to bring. So when we forget to bring, we today we take, tomorrow we take, but we are not consistent with what we are taking. Meaning this, tablet has a tendency to make it non-compliance. Non-compliance meaning we are not taking it on a regular basis. All right. Now, on the other hand, when we take it, the reason why we have to take it with food is because of our stomach hydrochloric acids. When we take something into the stomach will say, oh, there's a foreign object. Let's break it down. Let's break down the objects. All right. So the hydrochloric acids, so some of you guys call it stomach acids, typically it takes about 2 to 4 hours on the digestions. 2 to 4 hours on the digestions periods, right? And let's talk about absorptions. If the pill doesn't break, is 0%, right? If the pill breaks down, it's about approximately 20%. And then the capsule, which is much better because it just melt in your mouth, right? It just break down, is about 40%. Now, some people say, what about liquid vitamins? Well, if liquid vitamins that is not in isotonics form, it's about 50%. Because why? That same liquid goes into your stomach recognizes it and say, hey, this is a foreign object. Let's put in the hydrochloric acid. So subjective from body to body, that composition has changed now, right? The hydrochloric acid goes in to change the composition of the liquid vitamins, right? What is isotonics? Isotonics simply says this: iso means equal, tonics means pressure. So when you take it on an empty stomach, isotonics is the same pressure as your saliva, as your tears, right? As your plasma. So when we think about when we swallow our saliva, our stomach acid doesn't come out. It doesn't come out at all because it's isotonics, right? So isotonics versus tablet capsule liquid. So essentially what happened is this: your food has to be digested to form a solution called chyme, chyme. Chyme is called isotonic solution. In medical term, is isotonic. Once it form into chyme solution, that's when it bypass the stomach into your small intestine, and the villi will start to absorb all the nutrients from there. Okay, so isotonics, because it's a very same equal pressure as your plasma, tears, saliva. So when we take it on an empty stomach, the stomach recognizes, oh, it's the same as the tears, saliva, so the acid doesn't come out. And then it bypasses your stomach and goes to the small intestines. And the small intestine, it will deliver up to 95% deliverable. So, ladies and gentlemen, tablet calcium liquids are great, but why not upgrade yourself to isotonics? That's what it is. All right. So I'm gonna play a shot and look at what pills does. And this is a true fact, right? You look at the pills. If I'm gonna circle to you, the top one take 1 day before, and then it transfers down the colons. But look at the bottom at the rectum. It was taken 2 days ago, and the pill is still at the rectum, right? Isn't that scary? I mean, that's what the pill can do. So essentially, this person, the stomach is not strong enough to break the tablet, so it's wasting of money already, right? Okay, so let's talk about isotonics. I'm gonna play a short video. You guys let me know whether you guys can hear it.
Isotonics, the world's most advanced nutraceutical taken orally. Isotonics refers to the form by which the supplement is delivered into your body. Isotonic means having the same fluid pressure as body fluids. This all-natural delivery method reduces the time it takes for your body to absorb the nutrients. Normally, when you ingest a daily vitamin or nutritional supplement tablet, your body must work up to 4 hours digesting and absorbing the vitamins and nutrients. During this lengthy breakdown process, a percentage of the nutritive value is lost. But because Isotonics products are powders, the fillers, binders, coatings, and lubricants that are common to tablet manufacturing are not necessary. And the inactive natural ingredients and flavoring also make the product taste great. Faster and more efficient absorption into the bloodstream increases the value of taking nutritional supplements. Always follow the directions on the label when taking any nutritional supplement. Isotonics products become isotonic when mixed with the appropriate amount of water. You simply mix the product, stir, and drink. It's that easy. Isotonics.
Alrighty, so that's what isotonics all about. All right, so essentially you pour one small capful into the cups. You add 1 cup is 60 ml of water, and you stir it, and you drink it on an empty stomach. All right, so that's how we take isotonics, and the isotonics that we have is very fruity. Some of you guys say, oh, why is there fruits there? Fruit have sugar. Yeah, I understand fruit has sugar. Let's understand the process of osmosis. Osmosis meaning this: how does nutrient transfer into your blood system in the small intestine? The villi are just like a not foot, finger like objects, right? It transfer the nutrients. So it takes a base. The base need to transfer the nutrient. So the base has two forms. The base is either sugar or salt. So can you imagine drinking the too much salt early in the morning? I think it's pretty tough, right? So we make it into in the sugar form. However, folks, this sugar form is so minimal. I'm a type 2 diabetics. I do take the test that one cap is equivalent to two small grapes, right? One cap is equivalent to two small grapes. So that's how much sugar is there. So is it okay for a diabetic person? Absolutely. Is it okay for people who are sugar sensitive? Oh, absolutely. It does. It's okay to take it, right? I've done the test before, after taking isotonics. Was there a spike in my sugar? It just spiked so little that it doesn't, it's so insignificant on that, okay? But it's very palatable. It tastes really good, just like a cocktail punch early in the mornings, okay? So why these products here that I'm picking up? Why these products? Folks, we have a lot of products in our company, but this is the six products that we all have to be very, very passionate about. Why? Number one, OPC3, we revenue about 1.8 million USD per week. That's the reason why it's 1.8 million, right? And then what about number one, quantity sold, digestive enzyme? What about number two, quantity sold, aloe vera, right? So with the number one revenue, we have the kids, calcium, multivitamins, and Bs. That's why it's six. And then digestive enzyme and aloe. Okay, so let's understand what is OPC3. OPC3 is oligomeric proanthocyanidins. 3 is a combination of grapeseed, grape extract. I'm sorry, it's supposed to be grape straight extract and grape extract, and pine bark extract. It also has bilberry for the eye, citrus, etc. So the pine bark, let's understand what is pine bark. During the expedition of French going into North America, many of them fall sick, and then the natives say, "Hey, just pull up this pine bark here and then boil it with pine bark," and they start drinking it and they get better, right? And then they find out over the time it's a strong pinogenol. That means it's a very strong antioxidant. Same goes with the grapeseed extract. Is a resveratrol in that sense. Okay, so isotonic. So OPC3 consists of these three here. What is OPC3 all about? It's the most powerful antioxidants, anti-inflammatory, help to suppress autoimmune. OPC is a miracle product when you think about just these three things here, because these three contributed to the diseases that we all have, right? So let's understand what is antioxidants. So let's understand what is oxidation first. When a new iron is made, it's very shiny, right? And we put it in the element of air in environments. Guess what happened? It become rusty. So rusty meaning is oxygens react with the metal, it becomes rust. Rust is called iron oxides. Now, most of us say, "Oh my God, my appliance is rusty. Let me sand it down," right? And then you put a piece of paint or you put a piece of oil. But what if you leave it there? When you leave it there over the time, it goes into corrosions, right? When it goes into corrosion, what happened? The metal break. And when metal break, you can never fix it back anymore. So this is a process called oxidations. But what about our body? Look at our body. Your brand new baby looks so good, so chubby, so the skin so soft. And then we became teenage, right? And as we become teenage, guess what happened now? Our organs get oxidized, right? Just like the metal get rusty. And then we don't take care of it, and then it corroded. The whole process of corroding is aging, right? Just like the metal, it corrode, and then boom, you break. The moment we age, and then when our organ is so damaged, we leave this world. Simple as that. So now, do you guys understand why we take oxygen to survive? The same oxygen also slowly oxidize our organ, just like the iron is slowly oxidize it. And if we do not take care of it over the time, it will break down. So why is it our body oxidized? Why is it the baby don't oxidize? The answer is this. When the baby is born, it produces a lot of antioxidants. At the age of 20, our oxidation production started to drop. That's why when you look at the baby, toddler to teenagers, wow, they're so pretty, so handsome, no problems. They're at the peak of their physics, all those things. After 20 years old, the production of antioxidant drops 7 to 8% every decades. But the thing is this, just think about it. The lung that we have is fully developed when we are 20. When our antioxidants drop, the oxygen that we breathe, capacity is still the same. So thus, now we have oxygen that is the same when you're 20 years old, but because we don't have enough antioxidant, it started to oxidize our body, our organ, slowly but surely, and it oxidize, and we go through a process called aging, and finally we call it the end of the world, right? Okay, so that's why oxidation works in that manner. Okay, so what is antioxidant? Antioxidant is a substance that can protect the cells from damage caused by unstable molecule. Free radicals can lead to various health problems, and antioxidants help to neutralize them, thus preventing potential harm that can be found in many foods. So what does antioxidant does? It acts as a scavenger that neutralizes free radical by donating an electron, an electron to stabilize them. This process helps prevent the chain reaction of damage that free radical can cause the cells to be. Okay, so what is free radicals? Free radicals are unstable molecules that contain an unpaired electrons. This instability causes them to react with other molecules in the body, potentially damaging cells, contributing to various diseases. Free radicals are generated during normal metabolic process and can also be produced by external factors like pollution, smoking, or UV. So essentially what it is folks, our life molecule has two electrons, just like us standing on two legs, very stable. But when oxygen comes in and attack, it removes this here. So now you have a unstable cell that is one-legged. So ladies and gentlemen, just think about us as one-legged. The moment we are one-legged, what do? We grab the person beside us, right? So the person beside us has two legs, right? So we go in and grab, right? Now, is three-legged still stable? No, three-legged is not stable. So you grab more to stabilize it, right? So you grab more to stabilize it. But even no matter what, you are still odd number, it's still unstable. So it's called free radical scavengers. They will just grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the most common free radical attacks? Cataracts on the eyes, right? You have cholesterol plaques, right? All these things are free radical scavenger that attack the cells of our body. So what does antioxidant does? Later I'm going to go through that. So understand about how free radical truly works. Okay. So what causes free radicals? Could be UV light, could be smoking, right? Inflammation of white blood cells, radiation, etc. We damage the cells. Okay. Oxidative stress, meaning this is a normal cell, the free radical attack it, and then the cell now being damaged by the free radicals. Okay. So how does a free radical do? The free radical will go in and they will fill out the gap of it. Meaning this, when you have a cell that's been damaged and this cell is grabbing another cells as they start growing, what does free radical do? Free radical would donate this cell here so that it stabilize that whole chain of reactions. So when it stabilizes, now the body has a chance to go in there to get rid of whatever things or fix whatever thing it needs to. All right. So that's what it is. Okay. Now, what is anti-inflammatory? Inflammation is a process where the body white blood cells and other substance protect against infection and injury. While it's a necessary process, but chronic inflammation can be harmful. All right. So when we think about not inflammation, sorry, inflammatory, meaning this, we like, okay, my hand got just knocked by it and it turned blue black. Oh my God, it swell, right? Oh, I hurt my knee swell. However, folks, the body, the organs inside, when it's inflamed, we don't feel it at all. We don't feel the inflammation at all because we don't have sensor in our organs to feel it, right? But that's the most dangerous one. That's when chronic inflammation, all these things can happen. Okay. So what are the diseases due to inflammation? Rheumatoid arthritis, inflammatory IBS, right? Psoriasis, lupus, etc. All these are due to inflammations that we do not detect ourselves, our body. We only know when it's painful, right? IBS is someone that goes into toilet. The moment they eat, they go to toilet, right? It can result into Crohn's diseases, all these things. Rheumatoid arthritis, meaning the pain is on your joint. And how do you know it's RA and not OA? OA is osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis is due to degenerative joints where, maybe you exercise a lot, maybe you have an injury to the joint, that's called osteo. But rheumatoid, it comes in and it goes into pair. You have your wrist on the left, wrist on the right. Your thumb on the left, thumb on the right. Your knee on the left, on the right. So when you have pain on the same they mean it's a mirror of each of your body. Probably is rheumatoid arthritis, but the best thing is go and get tests. Okay. So what is autoimmune? Autoimmune disease result when your immune system is overreactive, causing it to attack and damage your body own tissue. Normally, your immune system creates protein called antibodies that work to protect you against harmful substances such as viruses, cancer cells, toxins. But when autoimmune disorders, your immune system can't tell the difference between invaders and healthy cells. So autoimmune is very common diseases nowadays that will attack the body. Instead of, they're supposed to protect the body, but instead they attack the body. Okay, so what are the autoimmune diseases? Again, RA is one of them. What about lupus? Right, when you have lupus, you're developing autoimmune antibodies that can attack the tissue throughout your body. This disease often attack your joint, lung, blood cells, nerve system, and kidney, right? And then what about multiple sclerosis? Same thing. Your immune system attack the nerve system, causing symptoms that may include pain, etc., muscle spasm, etc. What about type 1 diabetics? What about Guillain-Barré, right? Chronic inflammations. All these are autoimmunes. Eczema is also an autoimmune, right? So psoriasis, Grave, all these diseases are autoimmune. So there's a lot of autoimmune things. It's just, folks, the body, that's how the body react to it, right? So what's the benefit of pycnogenols? It combat free radical, demonstrate anti-inflammatory, help maintain healthy cholesterols. It help maintain circulatory by strengthening capillaries, arteries, and veins. For this is amazing when you think about strengthening the arteries and the veins. Essentially what happened is this: our vein arteries over the time, the elasticity is no longer there, so the vein formation is kind of weak already, right? When it become weak, when you exercise all these things, your oxygen is not being supplied properly, your blood doesn't flow properly, right? So people get tired of these things, but our OPC3 will actually open up and dilate it. Okay, so it reduces menstrual cramp, all these things, etc. Look at the absorption rate. In first 5-10 minutes, the absorption rate spike up. This is actually from the PubMed that shows how does isotonics react in 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, you look at 5 to 10 minutes, the spike was the highest. All right, how do you take OPC3? OPC3, you must take it 2 caps for the first 10 days. It's called loading. Why do we need to load up our body? Remember that as we age over the time, the production of antioxidant drops. So thus, we need to load it back to the body. But we do not know how much antioxidant do we need, because bodies are subjective, right? However, we load up 2 caps for the first 10 days. It's called loading. But when you load that time, you gotta warn your customers who's taking our products and say, hey, when you load up the antioxidants 2 caps per day, you may have some form of reactions. Oh my God, what kind of reaction? Well, you may have rashes, sore throat, migraines, diarrhea, etc. If you have reactions, it means that the antioxidant is actually working now. That's why you have the reactions, right? For example, rashes is actually, you have toxin that has to be pushed out. The antioxidant is doing its work, all right? So advise your clientele not to be alarmed by it. They expect for that result. And if they see it, no problem, continue taking it, right? The only time we will have to pull the plug is when the diarrhea is severe, right? And then we pull it off from touching on the isotonics, and then works on the guts. Digestive enzyme and allo works on the guts for about 2 weeks, and then put it back the isotonics because they have a very bad guts. Okay, so for maintenance is 1 cap per 35 kg. That is maintenance, ladies and gentlemen. Every one of you here, I pretty much can say, unless you are less than 12 years old, all right, you are definitely more than 35 kg. So you have to take minimum of at least 2 cap. Now, the daily essential pack sachet is wonderful. It's convenient. It's great. However, it's only 1 cap of OPC3. Always advise people that takes the sachet to take one more cap, right? To take an extra cap. So that is for maintenance. So for example, for me, I'm about 75 kg. So I take about 3 caps, automatically 3 caps, right? However, when you try to heal your body, be it you have sinus, be it you have asthma, be it you have severe eczema, be it you have lupus, fibromyalgia, right? Whatever the challenges, the rule of thumb is we double it. I mean, if I take 2 cap, I try 4 caps to see whether do I have the result. If I don't see the result, then I increase to maybe 6 caps, right? Why? Because you never know what is the level of antioxidant that you need in your body. Remember, it decreased 7 to 8% every year. So when you're taking, we do not know how much it is. But when you're not taking enough, you may not see the result that you need to. We know it works because of all the testimonial, but you got to push it up a little bit to the notch up. And then when you push up, they say, oh, wow, 6 cap, it works now. My sinus is now under control, right? That's wonderful. Then he tells her, well, 6 caps may be a bit too much. Let me try to drop to 5 caps. Well, 5 caps, it works. Let me drop to 4 caps. Oh my God, my sinus is back. So what is your maintenance load right now? 5 caps, right? So that's how you mean your body can tell by itself how many caps you really need. Okay, so understand the taking of this is only for OPC3 that we are very subjective to this. Now you're gonna ask me one question. Does OPC3, can everyone takes OPC3? Yes, except someone that is on blood thinner. Why is that so? See, folks, people that has high blood pressure, they normally the doctors will give them a medicine to reduce the thinning of the blood. I mean the viscosity of the blood. What does that mean is this? The blood is okay, high blood pressure essentially, just think about a hose, right? You have a hose of water, right? You're spraying your hose, and then you say, oh my God, I want to reach out to further. And then you try to close on the hose to make the hole smaller. And then the pressure goes up, right? Then you can reach to the far end of the plant that you try to water. So there's a change in the diameter of the hose. When someone have high blood pressure, could be several things happening. Could be cholesterol plaque. That means the cholesterol is now being formed, and the whole diameter is not being constrict. That's why the pressures goes up. What about some of the people, the situation, it could be an artery that is no longer dilates, that's been changing in the shapes, that causes pressures to goes up. So when you're taking OPC3, it's going to help to lower the pressure. However, when the doctors give you blood thinners, essentially is thinning down the viscosity of the blood so that the blood will flow faster. Thus, pressure going down. Instead of flowing slowly with high pressure, it's slowed down. So why is it we have to be careful when someone taking blood thinner and taking OPC3? Essentially, what OPC3 does in this case, the free radical scavenger may remove some of the cholesterol plaque, right? Over the years, time it will clean it up. Just think about when the plaque has been cleaned, the diameters goes up again, right? So now your pressure with the blood thinner is going to drop further down. And you don't want someone to drop further down. That's dangerous, right? They go to fainting spell. What if the arteries, because of OPC3, the arteries now get dilated because we're strengthening the wall of the arteries now. So the arteries dimension open up, pressure drop again. So ladies and gentlemen, when someone is taking blood thinning, you just have to be very careful, right? For my suggestions, I normally monitor them. I just take 1 cap per day and monitor very closely because they do take their own blood pressure. If the blood pressure drop, I'll tell them stop this one here, go and see doctor first, right? Let the doctor decide. Should the doctor reduce the dosage of the medical medicine? So we are not medical doctors. We should not tell them how much to take. They can tell themselves by reading on their own reading and then seek the doctor help on that. Okay. All right. All right, I'm gonna get you guys guess. Can you guys guess how old is this person? Type in the chat group and let me know how old is this person. You guys didn't expect me to ask you guys to be awake, huh? Type the age of this person. Okay, Casper 50 plus, 60, Lin, Aiza 88, Changi 90. Wow. Anybody else? Hey, we have a lot of people here. How come I only have less than 10 respond? 91, 70, 65. Come on. Okay, 80s, 60s. All right, get the drum rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, this lady is only 41 years old. This is a very severe eczema. All right, as is 45. Okay, all right. So this lady is eczema, right? It was severe eczema that happened to her. She takes the products. You note the date, July to October. It's only 2 months, right? 2 months. You see how this is okay. Eczema, FYI, is autoimmune. What does it cause it? Because eczema is a gut issue. Because the gut is not breaking down some of the stuff, right? Or you have a leaky gut for whatever reason, toxin has gone into your body. So the only way the body eject out the body, remember autoimmune, right? Say, oh my God, there's toxin, let's get rid. So the way they get it out is get it through your skins. And that's why eczema is a skin issue, right? It's come up from your skin. So if you go for medical doctors, it's very simple. Let's give you the gel to use first, right? And then if the gel doesn't work, then they may have to give you some oral stuff to take it. But we know it's come from the gut. So we address from the guts first using digestive enzyme and LO, and then use OPC3. It will help your eczema to be under control. Okay. This one here is amazing. Thanks to Mavis. Mavis has a friend. The husband was so excited. He said, oh my God, you see the breast milk on the left, after taking OPC3, the breast milk is pretty, I would say, I do not know how to describe it, but pretty nutritious, right? Ladies, you guys know that. That's just OPC3. What about psoriasis? Look at this lady. Psoriasis is so bad on this lady, but after 6 weeks of OPC3, is remarkable how OPC3 has helped psoriasis. What about this case here? Severe eczema too. Less than mid-treatment started OPC3 July to September. How many months is that? Right? About 3 months. It's under control. What about here? Okay, I know many of you guys know who's the owner of this hand here, right? I mean, very severe. And you see from August all the way to March in 1 year, about 6 months, the eczema is under control. All right. Next is my mom. My mom has been taking antioxidant for the last 27 years. All right. Can you guys guess how old is my mom is? Put in the chat. You guys are, oh no, Richard is gonna throw a trick question again. Just write out how old is my mom? Type in my mom age. Casper say 80. Okay, many of you guys know my mom, okay? Let's see what my mom can do at this age here, all right? By the way, this gentleman is actually the Minister of Health, Ong Ye Kong from Singapore. He actually invited my mom to join force with him in the promotion of 15 million life. And, my mom has been his prodigy, right? So is very proud of my mom, okay? So let's see what my mom can do here.
接着啊，我在 video。Steady lah.
Right. This is in this.
Wow. Ah, Grandma say why you go first, now she go.
Yeah.
All right, guys. My mom is 91 years old. All right. Show the hula hoop, Michael. Okay, I don't have the hula hoop. Stephanie has that. I mean, she has been using OPC3 for the last 27 years. How did I get my mom to take OPC3? You know, this is the true fact. 1998, when me and Stephanie started the business, we came in with 600 BV, and that's 24 bottles of the 30 serving OPC3. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get rid of all this thing here? So I actually sent 6 bottles to my mom. And she's like, I'm not going to take this thing here. It's powder, all this thing. I'm not going to take it. I said, Mom, it's very expensive from the United States. Please take it. Right. So reluctantly, she started OPC3 27 years. And to today, she's still using 20 OPC3. Some of you guys going to say, well, it's her gene. Okay. It could be her gene. Right. But my mom is number 2. The number 1 sister, the number 3 sister, the number 6 sister is no longer with us. Is it the gene? It could be the gene, but I do not know why the 1 and 3 left already, right? So, it's a combination of exercise, sleep, and a very good supplements. So my mom take all 3 of them. So I think we all want to live to the age 91 and still strong, climbing Batu Cave, right? Okay. All right, calcium. Calcium's, our calcium is bar none, is one of the most affordable calcium in the world. Then you say, what do you mean by that, Richard? Well, number 1 is 95% deliverable. Number 2, when you go to every calcium that is being sold on those GNC, LAC, GNC, whatever it is, number 1, they are very big tablets, hard to swallow. And number 2, their price can be low, but our price is not bad at all. So when you look at the return on 95%, return on investments, right? If you take a tablet that's about $30, your return on investment is only $6. Ours could be $40, $10 more expensive, but our return is how much? Right? Almost to $40 return, right? I'm sorry, almost to $36 return because it's 95%, right? So let's talk about our calcium. Besides helping the bones and a healthy teeth, healthy enzyme, all these things, our calcium also help with sleep. And you guys like, what do you mean by calcium help with the sleep? Our calcium has magnesium and vitamin D has magnesium in it. So essentially what it does is it relaxes the muscles at night so that we can have a peaceful sleep. Our calcium is bar none is one of the most powerful one because I share this story. This is very unorthodox. It is just an experience that we went through. We had a friend that's supposed to go through a gallbladder removal because of kidney stones. And the kidney stone was so severe at night, and he doesn't want to go for operation, but the doctor scheduled him for operation the next day. So we called one of the doctors in the United States, who's a very well-known doctors that use supplements. And he said, you know what, just load up calcium. I said, wait a minute. I said, Doc, kidney stone is made of calcium. You asking this person to load up calcium? He say, hey, our calcium is different. I say, what do you mean by that? I know there are some doctors in this call here, but you guys can verify is it correct or not. But this is what this doc told me. He said, because our body works in such a way that as we age over the time, our body needs calcium all the time. Calcium is used to muscles to fire every muscle. So if I ask this hand to move, I use calcium to move it, right? So calcium is like the signaling that is used to move all the muscles. So we use this calcium every day. When the body is not producing enough calcium, it will withdraw the calcium from the bones. As it withdraw from the bones, it will start using it to function the body. If we are not supplement the calcium back to our bones, that's why we got I think it's called osteoporosis, where the bone is now becoming hollow and hollow and hollow. And that's why they say, oh, people, be careful. If they fall, it breaks. That's true because there's no calcium inside there. When it breaks, it's hollow, just like chicken bone, right? You break it, it's easy to break. So thus, when we lack of calcium, that's how they withdraw the calcium from the bone. However, sometimes our body may withdraw too much calcium and it's not being used. So they have to store a place, right? It could be a bone spur, it could be kidney stone. So it could be gallbladder stones. So that's where all this calcium is now being stored inside those areas to be used later on, right? So now you have lack of calcium, withdraw too much from the bones, started to deposit into all these gallbladders, kidney become stones, right? So when Dr. Spa tell us load him with 2 cap of calcium every 15 minutes, just 2 cap, load him up. We're like, oh my God, there's a lot of calcium in there. But you know what happened? After we load and load and load about 2 hours, the pain subsides. Okay. And then throughout the night, this person can sleep. The next day, he told the doctor, I'm okay. I got no more pain. Right. So essentially, this is what I was told how the body reacts is when you flood the body with too much calcium, they're like, okay, let's get rid of all the calcium in the body because you got too much calcium right now. So the body will have a way to get rid of it because we overshot the calcium in it. All right. So that was the experience that we went through. I was like, oh wow, I did not know it works, but it did works in that sense. Okay. Multivitamins. All right. Why should we take multivitamins? Ladies and gentlemen, when we were young, our parents say, oh, gotta take vitamin, gotta take vitamin, gotta take vitamins, right? Essentially, it's multivitamins, right? So why is it multivitamin so important? Just think about multivitamins as your transport, right? Your bus, your MRT system, where you transport people from one place to another place. So you need multivitamins so you can transport all your nutrients to all your organs that is needed, right? So that's what the function of multivitamin does. So if you say, well, I do not need multivitamin, yes, you can. You do not need multivitamin, but your nutrients is not be at the effective stage of transportation. That means your nutrient is not working at the optimal level. That's why we need multivitamin for that purposes. You know, I will hear about story of people say taking multivitamin, say, oh, I take multivitamin, I lose weight. I say, how in the world you lose weight? Right. But just think about it, your body is now more effective. The body doesn't need to store fats. So you may lose weight. But that's just happening for some people that we have here the testimony on that. So do we need multivitamin? Yes. What about B complex? You know, B complex help with the blood cells formation, all those things, but it also give you a lot of energy, right? Some people have sluggish energy. Some people say, let's go for a B shot, right? B vitamin B injection, all these things because they need energy. But it's interesting when we take this, it gives us energy. And by the way, ours is called activated B complex. So what it means is this: B complex is a B cell. Normally, you have to take it with food. Activated B means you do not need food to make the B complex activated. So we have formulated it to become activated. So when you talk to people, you say, "Oh yeah, I'm taking Bs already." Is it activated? If it's not activated, then ours is more superior, right? But at the same time, our B complex does help with the nerve system. So people who are nervous, all those things, people who are depressions, etc. Bs does help them too, right? Some people say, well, I cannot sleep at night. You know, it's interesting. The calcium doesn't work, but the Bs works. I'm going to repeat again. The calcium that has magnesium that relaxes your muscle didn't work effectively, but when you take Bs, it helps you because maybe your nerve system needs to be under control, right? So B also help in that manner, okay? All right, digestive enzyme with probiotics. Wow, this is really a must-have products in Asia. Your guts is your second brain. Every diseases, challenges start from the guts. Just think about it. When we are born, normally we don't have disease. But after 20 years old or more, chances is we have disease, right? So what happened? Let's talk about it. What happened, right? It's all what we put in the guts, right? What do we eat? What we put into the guts, right? You know, I have seen in the US, when I've been in the US for the last 34 years, been shot.com for 27 years. About 20 years ago, when I started to be actively looking at the health of the United States, I realized there was three chronic diseases is in a rampant. Number one, eczema. Number two, autistic kids. Number three, colon cancer. And I was wondering why, right? And then 2014, when I come back to Singapore, and I started working in Singapore, and I started to realize, oh my God, this is also on the rise. Okay, what is the commonality? Just think about it. What is the commonality? And you don't see eczema, autistic kid in some of the rural places. Some of you guys say, well, they are not well diagnosed. It could be, but Singapore. Just think about it. Singapore 30 years ago, is it rampant eczema? There are some eczema, but is it rampant? Are there a lot of autistic kid during that time? I mean, I'm sure there's some autistic kid, but is it rampant? The question is, right? So it has increased. The only commonality based on my experience is food. Our food has now been processed that has caused us all this thing to have challenge on the guts, right? I still remember I was calling to a office in the Paragon, this pediatrician, Dr. Kaur. He said, I want to see the person that is asking your daughter to take this products. I said, oh my God, yeah, am I getting in trouble? So I went there and I sit down with Dr. Kaur. Very interestingly, she looked at me. I'm interested in your product. I said, oh wow, I thought you were gonna lecture me or what? You interested in my products? I was like, what products and are you interested? I wanted you to tell me what did you give to that little girl? I said, what's wrong with that little girl? He said the little girl is autistic. She has weight issue. She could only gain 1 kg per year. Then I was like, how old is she? She says she's 12 years old. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I look at the girl, I thought she's only 5 to 6, but she's 12 years old. So she has an issue gaining weight. And ever since her mom gave her our daily essential, digestive enzyme, and aloe, she started gaining weight 1 kg per month. And that's why Dr. Kaur said, I need to see me. And then she told me, this girl is autistic. I said, okay. Then she asked me this question. Do you know what causes autistic? I said, Doc, no, I do not know. Can you tell me? I cannot be an expert in that, right? You know what I mean? Because she's a doctor. I'm not going to challenge her. So I said, Doc, explain to me what it is. She said, autistics came from the guts. Because the children or the kids or the adult cannot break down certain nutrients in the guts, thus certain nutrients is not transferred to certain part of the brain. Autism, that's why when you say autism, they call it a spectrum. Spectrum meaning this is, it could be Asperger, like my nephew, he's Asperger. Some are high function, some are violent, some are all these things. Meaning this, when certain part of the brain is deprived of the nutrients, that's when the character shows up on the autistic, right? So she told me that it starts from the guts, and then she said, I want to see your digestive enzyme that you give to her. So I gave it a digestive enzyme. So the digestive enzyme helps to break down the nutrients, thus it can deliver down into the brain. Now, of course, the OPC3, the multivitamins, is necessity now that it, remember, they are 95% delivered into the bloodstream, so it's able to deliver into the brain system that is needed now. My own nephew is Asperger's, high functions, but very bad in socials. When he was when I knew about it, when I came back in 2014, he was about primary 5. So my sister started giving him probiotics, supplements, etc. And his grades is about C grades, so he barely passed every year. Goes into PSLE. I asked my sister Margaret, I say, how did Xander do? My sister said, well, if he passed and go to the normal stream, it's miracle. That means my sister is expecting my nephew to fail the PSLE because of who he is with his autism. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, the miracle thing is this. He not only passed his PSLE, but he went to the express stream. Express stream meaning they are the top grade. I mean, they go through the 4 years course instead of the 5 years course. And his O level, he did very well. So is it coincident that it's a nutrition? It could be, right? But we know now it does help. It does help with the digestive enzyme. So, folks, a lot of us, we all need digestive enzyme. And how do you take digestive enzyme? It takes it with the meals. Some people are pretty cute. Oh, I only take it in the morning. I'm good. Well, you take it in the morning, it's delivered to your bloodstream. You have empty stomach, nothing to break, right? It needs it when you're taking food. It goes in to break the food, right? If you take it early in the morning and then you take your lunchtime, you take the food, that food is not going to break down as what it needs it to be broken down because digestive is no longer there. And then you say, well, can I take it a few hours after food? Why? A few hours, your food is already digested. It become chymes already. You have what you have is because your food is not breaking down properly. So take it with food, right? Sometimes we take it 2 caps with food. But hey, the folks who are seasoned like myself, I don't take 2 caps. I just pour to the taste that I like. I like the sweet lemonade taste with ice, right? So you just pour whatever you like to. Just make it as if it's just a cocktail that you're drinking. Instead of 100 plus, instead of lime juice, we take digestive enzyme. Okay, so digestive enzyme with probiotics is very important. So any health issue, eczema, lupus, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, all these things, why not we work on the guts? When your guts is being taken care of, the rest of the stuff can work function by itself. All right, so digestive enzyme is a must in that sense. What about aloe? By the way, digestive enzyme is our number one quantity sold. There's a reason why quantity sold is because we're taking it every time, right? What about arrow? Well, number two quantity sold. Why is aloe so important? You know, beside helping with a good digestive guts, it also helps with immune system. This is something many of us may not understand it. Whenever I feel that I'm gonna go down with fever, all those things, I will take my aloe to boost up my immune, right? It is a very powerful aloe. Why is this aloe more powerful than regular aloe? I just want you guys to go down to LAC, GNC, whatever place that sells aloe vera, and just check. Is the concentration 98%, 99%, etc.? Okay. What it means is that if it says 90%, it means 1 part aloe, 1 part water. That's why it's about 98%. They cannot tell you 100%. But ours is 150%. It means 2 part aloe, 1 part water. So it's very concentrated. That's why the result is very effective. I mean, I myself has acid reflux, right? So touch wood, today I haven't had acid reflux for a very long time. Why? Because what causes acid reflux? Just think about what causes acid reflux, right? Your stomach. Your stomach digestion is not great. That the acid is formed inside. There's a pressure in your stomach. The pressure either push the food down to the bottom, which is what the normal weight needs to be, or the pressure is too high that it pushes up on your top esophagus, the valve, right? That's why the valve release, you got acid reflux. I had 2 acid reflux situation happen to me that I thought I was dying because I could not breathe. It was eating curry in the middle, late night, about 8, 9 o'clock, eating curry, choke, all these things. And I went to sleep, and the whole curry all came out through my nose and to my throat, to my whatever way it can comes out. I can tell you, I almost died. The feeling is that I cannot breathe, it's burning. I cough and I choke. But ever since I take digestive enzyme, it speed up my digestion process so that it will not stay built up for a longer time. At the same time, I do drink my aloe vera on a highly concentrated. I let it sip through slowly but surely into my throat area to help out with the top valve that has been damaged. Right. So over the years, I've been under control. Of course, I know I cannot eat curry late at night, right? But it helps. So the aloe vera is very good. So it helps with the immune systems. And some of you guys know, once I was in Malaysia on Thursday night. Okay, some of you guys are here. You guys are guilty of that. You guys take me to eat durian on Thursday night at SS2. So I whacked the durian, my favorite. And comes Friday. Now Friday I'm supposed to do a UBP in front of 7,000 people at the time. I think it was 7,000. I was supposed to just do the first part. I get up in the morning. I have no voice. You guys know what durian does? I have no voice. And then I said, oh my God. Then I SMS, I text to the whole group, can I have aloe? I need aloe. And thanks to Susan and Ken, they dropped me 2 aloes. And I was sipping the aloes throughout the whole day, sip slowly, sleep slowly, sip so slowly. just to clear my throat. In the evening, I was able to deliver my first part of the UBP. It is that fast. All right. So I'm done with the whole thing right now. It's now up to you questions that you guys may have. You guys have any question for me? I have expert here. Stephanie is here. Dr. Ani is here. They can answer for me. Well, how come also silent?
Richard, this is Irene.
Irene.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Irene, we can hear you.
Yeah. So my question is, with OPC3, can I mix like in advance and then just drink it through the week? Does it,
No.
can that work?
Not advisable. Because why? You already put out the OPC there and been open out in the air, oxidized for too long already. You don't want that. You want to mix it and drink it right on the spots.
Okay. So I can't store it in a bottle, put it in the fridge and drink
No.
it through the week. Not
I
recommended.
wouldn't do that because it's no longer potent after that. I mean, that's just my takes, but maybe I'm wrong, right? Stephanie and Dr. Ani, you guys can chime in.
No, that's correct, Richard. Mix it on the spot. That's the whole point of having it in a powdered form because liquid supplements have a short shelf life. If it's already in a liquid form, it starts to spoil pretty quickly. So don't mix up a bunch and keep it all week. Mix it as you go for sure. And shout out to Richard. I don't know when he became a nerd scientist like me. He's talking about isotonics and osmosis and all kinds of great stuff.
Well,
Hey, I learned from you
Ani,
guys.
he started it before I even know about the product. So he was really good at explaining antioxidant. He had a whole book on it.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so much. I learned from you
so much.
guys.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
So yeah, it is best to do immediately after and drink once you mix it. There's really no official guide on it, but I wouldn't keep it for a whole week like that. It's I don't you know, we can always ask again, but I agree with Ani and Richard on that. To maintain bioavailability, but we can always ask.
Any more questions that you guys may have?
Hi, I'm Casper.
Hey, Casper.
From your experience, when you ask doctors or you ask your customers to see a doctor, are the doctors generally supportive of taking these extra supplements?
Okay.
Ani, why don't you answer that?
Okay, maybe before Ani answer that, I just want to share with you guys. It depends on what kind of doctors. If they are medical doctors, most medical doctors, because of liability purposes, they are not allowed to share supplement with their patients. Because the last thing they don't want is, oh, doctor so and so asked me to take this, and it's supposed to be this will cure it. They get into trouble. So because of liability purposes, they are not allowed to share. However, in the United States, we have 5,000 physicians on board. We have overcome that liability challenges by doing certain things in preparation of it so that doctors now can share. So some of the doctors who are functional doctors, that mean they are medical doctors, but they also use supplements to help out. It's called functional doctors. These are the most effective doctors to be used, right? So they will look at a certain thing, they will go in the angle of supplements or go on the angle of medicines, right? But most doctors, because of liability purposes, Casper, they will not dare to share too much.
No, Richard, I think Ani can give a perspective point of view from a doctor. I'll give a perspective point of view from a nutrimetrics consultant going into practices. I don't know. It's just a matter of education. There's no stat law or anything that says that they can't, but there are some states in the United States that mandate that you cannot sell out your practice. But in most states, it doesn't say that. As long as the doctor doesn't pressure push, meaning that you insist that they need to get it, they actually can dispense it. Of course, the word cure, you diseases, all these cannot be mentioned because of supplement. You have to watch your word. I feel working in the field as a consultant, it's a matter of education and comfort level. And as more a physician gets educated, whether you are a allied health professional or whether you are a medical doctor, they can connect the dots, by giving them case study that they feel comfortable with, by educating and giving information about the product. It's not immediate, but they gain more and more comfortability. We usually, for me, I always start with things that they know and they're familiar with, like the omega-3, the calcium, the multivitamin, things that they're familiar, and they can see, they can understand the product delivery, they can understand why, and something that they don't need to look up because they have substantial knowledge. Please understand that they all have very good knowledge about it. We're just there to connect the dots on it. It's just an exposure, as far as my concern, that I see is just an exposure and willingness to take that step in understanding it. And most physicians, if once they do that, the comfort level does increase, and they feel very comfortable in even recommending some nutritional products. So that's my take on it. But Ani, on a doctor's perspective, what's your thought on it?
So I agree with what Richard and Stephanie said. The thing is, in the US, so what Stephanie was referring to, there's a government agency called the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, and certain medications are FDA approved, and supplements are never FDA approved. And so the legal rule is that you cannot claim that anything that is not FDA approved can treat or cure any kind of disease or medical condition. So yeah, legality wise, you have to be very careful. You cannot say OPC3 will lower your blood pressure. You have to say something like OPC3 supports a normal and healthy blood pressure and things like that. So that is one issue. As Richard said, doctors who are functional medicine or lifestyle medicine practitioners are more likely to be open to this than just traditional allopathic doctors, as well as alternative like chiropractor, acupuncturist, herbalist. People like that might be more open to it. And then in allopathic school, most allopathic schools in the US anyway do not teach anything at all about nutrition or supplementation. So the doctors simply just don't know about it, and they're typically not open to it. And there's also this feeling that selling is beneath them. Highly educated professionals think of selling as some kind of a low level thing to do. So yeah, those are the potential challenges you will face in the US. So you just have to find the doctors that are willing to listen to it, but many will not be.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Atani.
Wait,
Right.
sorry. Could I ask a follow-up question if that's okay?
Sure, because I got 2 more questions. Go ahead, Casper.
Oh, okay. So if I were to tell my customer to go and see a doctor and ask them about the product, what do I do in the case that the doctor tells them not to take the product? Not because of any health reasons, but simply because they think that it's not necessary.
Okay. There's 2 approaches. If you go there and say, Dr. Casper, I would like to take this omega-3 that can help with my heart, whatever issue, it can cure my heart. The doctor will say, I cannot give you the answer. Right? But if you go there and say, Doc, I would really like to take this omega-3 oil. I was told that it was pretty good. But can you look at the ingredient? Is there anything in the ingredient that I'm not supposed to be taking? So the doctor will look at the ingredient and say, I don't see any issue with the ingredient. That's it. That's all the doctor can do. So we got to know how to ask the question to the doctors. Got it, Casper?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, very good. Now,
Can
Lawrence,
Can I say something?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I mean, to just in line with Casper's question, what I'm doing now is I take quite a bit of medication because of my condition. And each time I take this, I always type in ChatGPT and say if there's any conflict to the ingredients of the supplement that I take. So that gives me some good advice to kind of refer to. Just sharing.
That's
Mm,
good. Thank you so much, Chandra. Love it. Okay,
power of AI.
Lawrence. Lawrence asked a question. Since his wife taking DEK, she becomes so energetic and affect her sleep. Wonder which part of DEK she needs to reduce. Question is, what time is she taking the DEK, and is she taking something at night? Right. Lawrence, are you there? Okay, in the morning. So Dr. Ani, how or Stephanie, how did you address this issue?
Morning.
She became energetic throughout the whole day, which is good, right, Lawrence?
Yeah, which is good, but too good that she couldn't sleep at night.
She cleaned the house. Instead of 1 week to clean the house, she cleaned it down in 10 minutes, huh?
I need to give Richard
You
that
guys
when
are
he's
lucky,
come back. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know, but here would be my take on it. I think, I mean, for one whole day, I would believe that it would wear out to some extent because you're functioning all day. To me, it's the first, but I don't believe it's the for me. I'm just saying, okay. I think there's something else throughout the day that she might be doing, and that the product might have enhanced that ability. That would be my take on it. I can't see just taking one cap of DEK would cause you not to sleep, especially when you take it in the morning. You didn't even take it at night. But what I can say is that it might be something that that's there that actually helps her, and gave her that energy. But what it is, you got to look at what she's doing throughout the day that we might take on it, that need to be observed. I really don't feel that it's the DEK. That would be my thoughts on it. Ani, do you have that experience?
Yeah, I agree. Take the daily essentials in the morning. During the day, make sure you're physically active enough to get tired, physically tired. And then before bed, maybe an hour before, you might want to try a capful of magnesium or a capful of calcium and magnesium. And then if that's still not good enough, we have things like Prime Sleep. I don't know if they have in Asia, but there's other things you could take to help that along if it's still not good enough.
Yeah, thanks guys, Dr. Ani and Stephanie and Richard. She took magnesium, but she still couldn't sleep. So
Okay.
I think the product might have enhanced an ability, but I don't think that it would cause her to stay up. Something else is there. So I would study her activities throughout the day,
yeah,
and you'll figure.
I think we're kind of like experimenting at this point. I'll get her to like stop the DEK first, and then kind of see,
You know
where.
what I would do? I'll tell you what I would do. I wouldn't stop the DK, but I would get the bottle. I would do a multivitamin 1 week
Yeah.
and see what happens. Then
Yeah.
I would individualize it rather than,
Yes, that's what we're doing now. So
Okay,
I
good.
stop the vitamin B first, because likely that could be like get her too energetic. And then maybe just start with the OPC3 first, and then we kind of like go through the process of elimination.
Keep me posted. I'd like to know.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll
I'd
do
like
that.
to know.
Yeah.
Okay. We have another
Thanks for
question
having,
is
guys.
this. We have another question is the difference between zenazdine and astaxanthin for the eyes. I'm not sure what is zenazdine, but essentially,
Zeaxanthin.
right? Essentially, for the astaxanthin, remember what take note. Astaxanthin is also a very strong antioxidant, right? All these are very strong antioxidant, but astaxanthin addresses the smallest capillary in our body, and our smallest capillary is all in our eyes. That's why it does help with eye challenges very well. I mean, I can give you my own testimonials. By the time I was 41 years old, I developed dry eyes. It was so painful. It looks like the old sight, old people eyesight coming in. But ever since I take astaxanthin, it lasted to when I was almost 54, 14 years later, then then I started taking bifocals. Other than that, I was okay, right? So it does help very well. Okay, right. Lawrence is like there's a lot of suggestion for your wife to be sleep down, turn down, blaze, or prime sleep. Okay, take one of this. All right. Any other question, guys, before
Yes.
we call it for the
Yes,
night?
Richard, can I have ask one? Yeah,
Sure.
just now one of my juniors just shared with me that her colleague that just admit to hospital regarding of like heart pumping too fast and found out that she got hyperthyroidism. And now she become like very weak and get fever easily. But of course now after taking medicine is subside, but the immune become very low. So because we know that thyroid we cannot take OPC3, but can I say that our law is very safe for her to take? And or is there any other thing that can help her?
Dr. Ani and Stephanie.
Yeah,
I'll let Ani go first.
I'll address that. Hyperthyroidism, you need to find out what is the cause. Is it Graves' disease or is it something else? If it is an autoimmune issue, then as you may know, fixing the underlying autoimmune is the answer. So, absolutely they can take aloe, no problem. But you need to find out what is the cause of the hyperthyroidism. Sometimes they even remove part of the thyroid gland to reduce the numbers and things like that. But if it is autoimmune, then of course you want to do all the dietary and lifestyle things to combat autoimmune. But aloe, I see no problem.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
Awesome. Any other question that you guys may have? Okay. No question. Back to you, Jeffrey.
All right. Thank you so much, Richard, for the very detailed sharing. And thanks to everyone who have posted their questions and share your input as well. I think we have overshoot the time a bit. So with that, we will end our weekly product call for tonight. Good night, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Annie. Thank you,